Hi, I just thought maybe I'd get on the air for a few minutes today and reassure you about the oral project, which you are starting on because that's your next big assignment and it goes over several weeks. And so I had a couple of cautions. First of all, if you read the lecture and the material in the textbook, you will be so well prepared to do an oral presentation that you can't go wrong, I promise. But just to give you a little pep talk about this is a very important assignment, as I said, and it takes several weeks to get it done. And if you go through each week and do the assignment that is relevant to that week, then by the time you have gotten to week 9, which is your practice presentation, you have a well thought out, well put together presentation to do, and it isn't a problem. I know that some of you are a little apprehensive about this, and let me tell you, I've been teaching speech for 50 years, I suppose, and I have yet to run into the majority of students who say, oh, goody, goody, I get to do an oral presentation in front of a group of people, and that's my favorite thing to do. Oh, what a luck. Well, it isn't typical to have that kind of an attitude. And so I'll say two things to you. Number one, it isn't going to be as bad as you think. After all, when you do the presentation, you're sitting in your own home, talking to your own camera on your own monitor, and you're surrounded by familiar things. You can't even tell that people are looking back at you, and so it's really not that much of a challenge. Secondly, do not fall behind on the assignments, as I said before. Keep up week by week and you'll be just fine. And so, what are you going to do for this week? This week, you're going to choose a topic. The textbook says there are 3 things to consider when choosing a topic. First of all, who are you? Secondly, who is the audience? And thirdly, what's the occasion? Well, that third one, the occasion, is really not relevant at this point in time. It would be if you were out in the real world giving a real speech, but at this point in time, what's the occasion is the occasion is you're doing a required assignment to try to get a credit in this course, or 4 credits in this course. So that's not a huge issue unless there is some occasion in your life that you really want to share with us. For example, if you're getting married in the near future and your speech is going to be how to plan a successful wedding, then you're, of course, picking an occasion. But for the most part, your major concern is, who am I? Who are they? Who am I? Where have I been? What have I done? What experiences have I had? What work experience is behind me or a part of me? What is unique about me that I'm interested in? What hobbies do I pursue? There's a world of choices out there for coming up with what is it about me that I can talk about. The second thing is, who is my audience? And at this point in time, you know a little bit about your audience. You've been chatting back and forth with them in the discussion forums every week. You kind of know who you're talking to. They are all mid-state college students. They are all trying to accomplish the same goal or purpose generally that you are. They're approximately the same age that you are. Fortunately, this time we have a nice mix of guys and gals in the class, so you may not be talking to just women or just men. You'll be talking probably to an audience that's a mixture of both. And so who you are and who they are pretty easily figured out. One of the parts of your assignment this week is to brainstorm a list of possible topics. I asked you to give me a list of 10 possible topics for speeches. Brainstorming, as you know, is a technique where you try to get maximum ideas in minimum time. So set yourself a time limit like 3 minutes or 5 minutes, and then take a piece of paper and a pencil and sit down and write everything that comes into your mind that you might give a speech about. Not time now for you to say, oh, nobody be interested in that, or oh, I really don't know anything about that. This is a time when you are listing everything that goes through your mind, because somewhere in there's going to be a topic that resonates with you and that you want to use for your speech. Once you have brainstormed, I want you to go through your list thoughtfully and carefully and come up with the topic you're going to talk about. The other part of your assignment is to write your general purpose, your specific purpose, and your main idea. Your general purpose you don't have to worry about because I picked that for you. Your general purpose is to inform. I want the audience at the end of your speech to know more about your topic than they knew when you started. And that is your function. The textbook tells you that the three major purposes for speeches are to inform, to entertain, and persuade. Well, persuasion is very difficult. We don't have time to do that in this course. Entertaining purely for the sake of entertainment is also very difficult. And so inform is the most direct kind of topic you can choose. So the general purpose is taken care of. It's to inform. Your specific purpose, as the textbook will tell you, should be stated in this form. At the end of my speech, the audience will know more about whatever your topic is. Back that up. It's at the end of my speech, the audience will understand whatever your topic is. The textbook asks you to do it that way, and in order to have a grading standard that is consistent, I want you all to do that. The specific purpose statement starts at the end of my speech, the audience will, or at the end of my presentation, the audience will. And the main idea is simply a thesis sentence, a one-sentence statement of what your speech is about. So your main idea might be, it is important to understand the importance of the aardvark in pest control, or something like that. That then will become, in a week or two, that will become a part of your introduction. The main idea statement goes into your introduction. So those are your assignments for this week. Brainstorm a list of topics, choose the topic you're going to consider, and then develop a general purpose, a specific purpose, and a main idea. That done, you have completed this week's assignments, and next week we will work on the next step in preparing for this presentation, which is to talk about outlines and develop at least a rough draft of an outline for your speech. So that should keep you busy. I don't intend for this little chat to replace the lecture. You need to read that. And I don't intend for it to replace the textbook. You need to check that out. And that should keep you pretty busy for this week. I look forward to chatting with you again next week when we talk a little bit about the outline you're going to develop and how that works. So, happy brainstorming, and I look forward to seeing what the topics are that you've come up with.